Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. This is Catherine, and I just wanted to make you a follow-up blog to last week's video talking about the idea of getting it all done. And last week we talked about how getting it all done is really just a fantasy idea that most of us women think that every other woman on the planet is actually doing, but we're falling so short and absolutely failing our families by not doing. But really, how no one is actually doing that, and how what really matters is to do what's most important to us, most important to you, and just even figuring out what that is. And I talked briefly about how what is most important to me is feeding our family completely whole, unprocessed, organic foods that are basically totally made from scratch, 3 meals a day and snacks. That's the number one thing around here. Number two is keeping the kitchen clean, because none of that cooking is going to happen without the kitchen being picked up. And three is the laundry, and then after that's bathrooms. So anyway, those are the order of importance around our house, and I just wanted to give you a few simple tips on specifically menu planning, meal planning, and that number one thing for me, which is getting healthy meals on the table. Give you some quick strategies on how to make that as easy as possible. So the first thing to remember is that if you're making the switch from totally standard American diet, or even like a lot of processed foods, or even if you're just used to eating out a lot and you're switching over to the Maker's Diet, or you're switching over to actually cooking several meals a day, it really is going to feel like a lot in the beginning. And you'll get used to it, I promise. And you'll also get into a good just groove of how to make things as easy as possible on yourself. And that's what I want to help you do. So just give yourself grace for that in the beginning, that you are going to feel like you're in the kitchen all the time. And you should watch the clock and see how much you actually are in the kitchen, because it may be that you're in the kitchen 30 minutes a meal, and before you were only in the kitchen, 10 minutes or 8 minutes or no minutes. So try and think in terms also of just how many minutes it's taking you. I've pretty much gotten mealtime down to where it's not going to take me longer than about 25-30 minutes to get every meal done. And yeah, I do have to do that about 3 times a day, but it's worth it to me. So nail down exactly what your time frames are, like how long it does take you, so that you can mentally know, okay, well, I feel like I'm always in the kitchen. Well, you're not always in the kitchen. How long are you actually in the kitchen? Because you don't live there, I promise. You're just there a lot, but figure out exactly how much it is. That will help your brain. So that's one thing. That's more of like a mental thing. The second thing is, excuse me, there's a fly. You have got to get a meal plan. I promise I'll go kill it if it keeps flying around my face, so it won't keep interrupting the video. Anyway, meal plans will absolutely save your life. That was the very first thing that I did when we started the Maker's Diet about 7.5 years ago, 7 years and 3 months ago, was started meal planning, because I was so overwhelmed with this huge switch that I just couldn't do anything but make a huge list, because I didn't even know Whole Foods. I was so overwhelmed by Whole Foods. So anyway, make a menu plan. And how I do it is 1 week at a time. Let me know if you'd like to see how I do this, and next week maybe I could do a whole video just on how I make my meal plan and like show you my piece of paper of how I do it. But I do it a week at a time because I shop once a week, and I usually shop like Fridays or Saturdays, and I just plan out like every single night of dinner. And I also usually throughout the week will roughly plan out what we're gonna have for breakfast or lunch. And if I don't write it down, breakfast at lunch, I'm at least pretty much always thinking of it like the day before. So, okay, so make a meal plan, because if you don't have a meal plan, you're sunk before you've even started to swim. You've got to have a meal plan. I think there is absolutely nothing worse than not knowing what is for dinner. I mean, that is like the most stressful feeling to me, and I think most of the population would agree. So make your meal plan, make it for at least a week. That way you can plan into your daily life. Like if you're making chili tomorrow night, then you know before you go to bed that night, you need to spend 90 seconds and soak the beans. So if you don't even know that you're going to have that the next day, then you have no way to prepare. So make your meal plan, even if you start off very simple. This is really very elementary. It's like the most basic step, but it's also one of the most crucial. So start with that, and then you can start to schedule the different parts that make up the different meals into your daily life so that you don't have to do it all in one chunk. And that's kind of another topic too we can talk more about. So anyway, I hope you have a fantastic day, and let me know if you have any more specific questions, and we can talk more about meal planning next week. All right, have a great day. Bye.